we have a vehicle that is Kormut Farmers Cooperative vehicle. Osman, imekuja hiyo gari? Okay. So, so it is allegedly that it was repaired in the office of the governor. So bado ijarudi from 2017 hadi kwa sasa.
This vehicle for Kormut, actually around 2017-18, the committee from Kormut Cooperative Society approached the Department of Agriculture. By then it was Agriculture and Livestock. Later on this 2017-22 government year, it was split because of their workload. So when it approached, they needed assistance to repair their vehicle, a pickup vehicle, which it had installed. Fortunately, by then I was a director in that department. So luckily enough, I still have the institutional memory. So when we sat with the cooperative committee, since this cooperative is more based on agriculturally based, we agreed on a gentleman's agreement that we shall assist them. And we requested them. And why the office of the governor is involved, that day it coincided, we had a senior staff meeting chaired by the governor, CECs, chief officers, and the directors. So after that, they said hi to His Excellency our governor and informed, and the governor, and when they informed that they have requested the department to assist them, the governor now endorsed and actually requested us to assist our farmers. So we have done, we have assisted, we requested them, we asked them to bring the vehicle to be assessed in a garage in Eldoret. It needed it needed tires, it needed some panel pitting and painting, and the dip was not in good order, and maybe general service. We have so far, from 2018, when I took over as the in charge of livestock, fisheries and cooperative, with my brother Yatich, we have replaced the tires, what, 57,000 new tires. We have done the panel pitting and painting, what, 27,000. What is remaining is the dip and maybe general service, which we are assessing by the mechanic to be around between 80 and 100,000. We could have done it. In fact, we were in constant conversation or consultation with the chairman and the water administrator of Soy South. We could have done it, but due to some financial constraint, you know, this is Kepka. Sometimes I was telling you, I think maybe we could involve my fellow CCs, Karambe kidogo. So I have assured them that because a promise is a debt, in due course we are going to finish that vehicle and call the chairman and his committee plus the water administrator to take their vehicle, which will be okay. Thank you very much.
Then also on the same, capacity building of farmers, and this also cuts across all the wards. We've been allocating money for capacity building of wakulima and also promotion of capacity. This is not only for Soy South, but across the wards we made allocations for capacity building of farmers. But the Department of Agriculture, we are happy they are here. There's been no clarity on how they select these farmers for training. Where do they take these farmers for training? What are they being trained on? What has been the impact since 2013 on training those farmers? Who are these farmers who are being trained? So, in fact, we were in the field developing memorandums which we still ask for the year 2020-2021 to be put in the ADP. And people are saying we are not going to allocate money for training of farmers because we don't know who these farmers are. So I think that is this need for clarity there.
There is this issue of capacity building money for Soy South. in the financial year 2017-2018. And I want to repeat it because we've done it in the forum. At least we follow up these forums, and since we serve in this government, we always come out honorably to discuss things as it is, because we don't want to sway the message and the message that we've said. We received a memo from the officer in charge of agriculture, James Cheriot, on 27th of February 2018. It landed on my desk then because I was the CC on 21st March 2018. And when we wanted these funds, it has been split on various issues. It had the following items, and I want to read it as it is for clarity and for us to raise this case. One was that coffee farmers were supposed to tour Kericho County and specifically Kipkelion, and they were to spend 181,000 Kenya shillings. Farmers, that 6 farmers had been identified, and they were to be facilitated through transport of 1,000 each. That makes it at 6,000. There was 3 Nissans to be hired at a cost of 25,000 each, making it 75,000. And then there was night out of 10 staff from the department, which was 7,000, making it 70,000. Then there was a tour for tomato farmers tour to Chepsikot. Chepsikot is just here in Soinot. Farmers of lunch of that 6 farmers at 250, making it 9,000. Transport of 3 Nissans 10,000 by 30. And then staff lunches of 1,000. I mean staff now that county government staff was supposed to get 4,000 out of that, making it a total of 43,000. And in totality of this page, we would have spent 224,000 Kenya shillings. The third item, based on the request of the field tours, because we had 200,000 and 500,000 for capacity building, coffee farmers were supposed to have 3 field days in Turesha, Kalwal, and Kocholo. And the estimate cost for this was, a publicity was to be done for 2 days at 6,000 Kenya shillings. Field day materials were to be availed at 2,000 by 3, making it 6,000 Kenya shillings. Hiring of tents, chairs, and public address, and 10,000. And then facilitation of staff, 10 staff, making it 30,000. And farmers' lunches, 120 farmers were supposed to tour Chepsikot. I mean, from Turesha, Kalwal, Kocholwa, about 120 farmers were supposed to come to Chepsikot. The total of this amount was supposed to be 88,000. And finally, there were to be barasas in Soy South, and they had requested 120,500 to undertake the following activities: training materials, farmers' lunches, staff lunches, training material 10,000, lunches for staff at 7,500, staff for lunches was 25,000, and 11 farasas, making it 120,000. When you add all this, it was going to add up to 700,000. But because this was an explicit plan for various activities, and from our first dispensation of county government and the second dispensation of county government, it was, while we were still discussing, because the same officer would not be able to get a whole tranche of 700 in his account, and especially for these activities, this money was not released to the officer in charge based on those logistics. And I think that's what we said, that the money was not sent to the officer, and none of the staff within the department assessed the money. So the money rolled over, and since it rolled over, money that rolls over will only roll over and be appropriated when it has an LBO or an LSO. So the money rolled over and it became a saving for 2018-2019. And in our budget, that money now was shared appropriately for activities that were supposed to be undertaken in the financial year 2018-2019. And that is the money that were meant for capacity building for Soy South. So that money, nobody took it, and the money it rolled over to other activities in the financial year. And
the other question was, that money would have been spent, how could these farmers be
the Chariot, our officer, Your Excellency, normally the specific farmers within the ward always, those who come for our public barasas, we've done, even in the same spirit, in the discussion of soil conservation and environment conservation. When we called for our meetings in Setano, Katumoy, and Gocholwa with Reverend Koskei, it is Your Excellency, those who come to the meetings will be able to be taken for the capacity building tours, because the officer will invite officers that will have a barasa on issues of tomato, on issues of coffee, and in issues of the tours based on the discussion that takes place in the ward. And the people who turn up will be given an opportunity to attend, because it becomes tricky when somebody does not have the will and wants to be facilitated or to be trained, and yet the person is not part and parcel of this discussion that it takes place in the ward. And Your Excellency, in 2017-2018, based on the capacity building that the officer Chariot and ourselves have been doing in Soy South, the number of coffee seedlings that were planted in 2018-2019, we did a record planting because of the long rains. And we were able to discuss with Caltro Kitale. They gave us seedlings in advance. And all the seedlings for 2018-2019 were exhausted in 2018-2017 in Soy South. Because of the discussion between the farmers, we went to Sila Birir, we went to Katumoy and Kocholo, telling people they need to plant seedlings, and we were showing examples of those who had planted. And even the coffee that had been harvested in 2016-2017 and the coffee that was harvested in 2017-2018 were about twice what was harvested in 2017-2016. So that is how we normally assess our farmers, based on those who turn up for our programs that we advertise within the Ward, Your Excellency.
Then we have a challenge in rehabilitation of Cheberen, Kapsisi, Kapkoi cattle dips, which I know we've mentioned this before. It was allocated 810,000 in the year 2016-2017. And we've been following up this matter, but it has not been conclusively addressed. So this is an issue that you get answers today that do not reflect the true reflection of the community. Because you are told maybe money for Cheberen and Kapsisi and were transferred to Muno. So how was the transfer made? Muno was not rehabilitating. You are also told maybe the money were used to buy acaricides. So the acaricides, who received the acaricides, there's an issue, or it was supplied by the MP, so it is not the county government that supplied the acaricides. So there's an issue on that, on those 3 cattle dips that had been allocated money for. Currently, Cheberen is not working. Kapkoi ceased in the year, I think, 1980. So there is a challenge there. It's only Kapsisi that is currently working.
For the dips, which is in Kamarin Ward, these dips actually were for the financial year 2016-17. These dips, they were Kapsisi, Kapkoi, and Cheberen. When the PQ were done, and we were ready to contract to the same, my staff in charge of the ward, in consultation with the ward administrator and maybe the MCA by then, found that, and this question again came in the last Governor CSO roundtable, which we had answered, but I believe and hope that the measures which we have put since that CSOs and this one will arrest the case. When our staff, the technical staff assessed, when they went round, actually, they realized that Kapsisi was operational and it had been repaired using CDF funds. So technically, they could not double allocate funds, which sometimes in future maybe should be having a liaison between the, but since now these are county function, initially CDF used to fund also, but since it is county function, well, the case is clearly defined. So we realized that CDF had done the repairs, and we could not do the repairs. Kapkoi had land issues. There were some family disputes. Like my colleague from ELT, there are some tips which were allocated by the family, maybe the father of that homestead or their grandfather, and it has operated as a public entity for all those years. Maybe at some point, maybe the grandchildren realizes that this thing, it has not been given a title deed, and it was their land. Their parents had given on a goodwill basis. They start coming in to the department and requesting to be compensated. So as we were sorting this, likewise to Cheberen, which had land dispute. But initially also Cheberen in 2013-2014, we had allocated some small funds for repairs, 22,000, and we had given Akara site. This Akara site is not part of the funds for 2016-17. There were some funds under disease control, and being tick control is part of disease control, we usually ration some funds to purchase Akara site so that we assist some tips to jumpstart so that they can operate and save what they have and become self-sustainable. So the Akara site is not part of these funds. So what we did, in the spirit of ensuring that we don't have rollover funds and there's some technical inputs from the technical staff, we assigned the staff in charge, veterinary staff in charge of Kamarin ward, to work in conjunction with the ward administrator and maybe the representative of the MCA. They went round doing assessment. They assessed all the tips in the Kamarin ward, and they came up with 5 tips which needed some repairs. And that has informed my department that we need to go around and sensitize all the public in all the wards, all public, all dips, or even some crashes, or even where we have auction yards, or even cooperative societies, which they don't have title deeds. During public participation, they should allocate some funds equivalent, and we assist them to secure title deeds for those which does not have.
Then this is in Bugar cereal store, and this is the picture of the side of Bugar cereal store. So contractors and Chamber of Commerce will still tell us, hata kama mimi sijasomea contracting, ninaona tu ukiona tu hiyo nyumba, hata ukiona mabati venye imewekwa, hiyo haifai kuitwa cereal store. I mean the quality of the construction. It is already cracking. It is cracking, so ikicrack inapigwa rangi, hata alignment ya mabati and so forth. So there was a lot of changes in the way it had been designed before. Even the office that is inside there cannot be said to be an office, because the way it is inawekwa, mtu ofisa na madawa ya mahindi atakuwa anakaa pamoja. So hapo kuna shida kubwa. So this one, and it has consumed over 6 million, but the records are scattered. That is what I want to report, that the records are scattered. Mara pesa ilitolewa kutoka pande hii, ikapelekwa huko, ikaongezwa, the next financial year wakaongeza. So the records are very scattered, but that is the state. Mlango iliwekwa na saizi imeanguka tena. So mlango haifunguki to that store, and the way it is constructed. So iko tu vibaya, and it is currently being used by children wakienda kucheza cheza, but we will recommend kwamba wakiendelea kucheza cheza huko ndani for the next 3, 4, 5 years, that can easily collapse.
The other one that came out was, and it came out in the last year, so is the Bogar cereal store. And we want to be honest, the CSOs, they've only been 2 contractors in that site, not 5. It's good to be sincere, and let's not add salt where it's not necessary. Samatech only did the slab, and the next contractor, Samatech, did the slab, and the next contractor who has been doing the structure up to the roof is correct. I don't know the name of the company, but correct, the contractor, is the one doing it. And in our last CSO meeting, we had said 760,000 had been put, if you can remember, and you can go to the archives of our discussion. In our last public participation, because I was in Kamaring, we told the people of Kamaring that this structure requires some extra 760,000 for us to do the part of the roof and those places that were not complete. Unfortunately, when we had finished the public participation and the money that had been provided for Kapchemutu Award, when that money went up, and when it was prioritized now for Kapchemutu, that money even for the cereal store, the 760 was knocked out. So we don't have money for the Kapchemutu cereal store as we speak. But the only advantage that we have, and this is a discussion that we are doing with the CEC, the current CEC, we have money for retention. We want to utilize all the money for how much is about 640,000, Your Excellency, for the retention. The contractor has to lose that money because of the things that have happened in the store. For us to complete that store once and for all, and we are aware of the things that you have mentioned, and I want to assure you that children playing in the structure will not fall down. That I can attest. That I can attest. That I can attest, because when the slab was laid, we were there, and Samatak was the contractor. So children playing to it is the only thing we need to do is to ensure that we do the nice doors. And the store again, when we were doing the discussion in 2014, 2015, the thinking of the people of Kapchemutu was this thing was supposed to be a story building, and they had put a budget of 14 million, 10 before the EDA. But when EDA came, now things had to be done in phases, and we lost the 14 million, and the only money that was available for that structure is the 6 million that we are discussing today. So some things had to be reduced because it would not go the 14 million way, because the 14 million way was before the coming in of the EDA Act, which was passed in January 2015. So the thinking of the Kapchemutu people was, we do a story and make it a story, and we spend 14 million, and that has not been forthcoming. For those who've been in the public participation, and I'm honored to have been in Kapchemutu for the last 4 years doing the discussion on public participation. The issue of money is pull and push, and that money to the store has not been forthcoming. Finally, you mentioned about the toilet in Mokil at the Musham site. The toilet was done in 2014. Mureto was done in 2014, 2015. And that toilet, 2014, that was a project for 2014, 2015. Till now, that project has been there for the last 3 years. But you're saying it is cracking and sinking. That's true. This year, and we've sent people to the site, this year, water from the road, because the road is passing, the Mureto Musham is just close to the road, water passed through the toilet in this rainy season. And as we speak, what you are saying is true, because water that was coming from the road passed through the toilet, and it is at state that you are saying. So that's a fact. We cannot deny that. But one thing that we would want to assure there is a serious gentleman from Mureto, and I wish he is here. Is he here? Yes, he is a serious gentleman. He's been following that thing. I wish all members of the community, who are following their projects the way this guy is very serious about that project that is in Mureto. We will be there on Monday again, and I would want to request that you attend so that we can sum up. The contractor doing the structure we would be able to see whether we can be able to rehabilitate and walk around the toilet. But now there's a lot of water that has gone from the road to the toilet. So we want to ascertain whether it will collapse or we will have to move it to another site. And I would want to invite you on Monday to be on site, and that is what we would want you to do. I want to stop at that unless there is any question. Thank you so much.
My question is, you have indicated that you want to use retention money to complete the Pukar project. My question is, as the contractor abandoned the site because to use retention money.
Okay, also on the same note, as it has been raised here, on the same funds which were rolled over to the next financial year, you said the money was rolled over and it was used on other activities. It could be also better if we know these activities.
Mine was the issue of Mureto, inaitwa Mureto tourism site.
Yes.
Last week nilikuwa napita hapo nikapata kuna mkutano ilikuwa hapo. One of the issues that was raised, kuna wazee walikuwa wanaongelelea ownership ya hiyo shamba. Wanasema sio ya county, it is still a private land, and yet county has done a lot on the same piece of land. The same issue was actually, I witnessed the same issue in Kapiego Ward. Kuna kula ya maziwa imejengwa kwa shamba ambayo pia mwenyewe bado anasema ni shamba yangu. So maybe we are developing properties ambayo in the long run itakuwa ni ya watu binafsi badala ya kwa ya county. On the issue of training ya farmers, agriculture inaweza provide employment kwa vijana wingi. And financially at 2018-2019, even Kapchimuto Ward, we allocated 200,000 for training of farmers. You've explained that umefanyika hizi trainings ya wakulima. Just as a way forward, I don't want to dwell on how they were selected, but just as a way forward, we would request going forward that if these trainings are done, other videos ikuwe documented and then we post them in our county website, ndio hata sisi wakulima ambao tuko wadogo tunajikagamua tupate pia kunufaika kwa hizo trainings ambayo maybe we download the videos and even get to learn from what actually transpired in the trainings. So those were my requests, and I think also hizo videos itakupatia wakati rahisi sana explain kama ilifanyika ama haikufanyika hizo nini, si ndio? So those were my concerns. Thank you very much.
On the issue of land ownership for Mureta, that has not reached us. If there is a discussion on this, on a dissenting voice on what had been the norm, that has not reached us, because as far as we know, there's a county government land. The cool at Cheptopot, that is true. And I think my brother Kieng had alluded to. The discussion between the former MCA Kabiego and the community then had identified a place, and it was earmarked for the coal. That's in Cheptopot, and it was earmarked, and we were on that site in a discussion that was ongoing between the community and the leadership then. But with the change of leadership, things are at a standstill, I'm aware, and the cooler is there. But we've engaged the MCA to reignite it afresh and make it work, such that as people are allocating funds for buying land, when people to allocate funds and put the land owner to be in anticipation of money as we make use of that cooler site. Tenderi has asked whether the contractors asked as a pardon site. That is true. We've raised a lot of issues with the contractor that he needs to sum up, because even when we left the CSO meeting last year, we told him, kindly sum up on the areas that are within your works, so that we could be able to deliberate on those areas that were beyond his scope of work in the money that we had appropriated. But as we speak till today, he has abandoned site, and we think the only option for us is to utilize his retention and make that project complete because there is no allocation of money. But when we fail to assess the money, we go an extra mile to use what we have to ensure that some activities that we are so passionate about are done and are passed to the community. And I think that we did excellently, and the records are there. And I think for Collins, we need to ask our colleagues now that are in agriculture, and I think Wekesa and Chepkon, you are here. Please, let's document these things. That's a fact. That if we don't document, we will not have records and history of where we came from and where we are going. I think I don't have any other question. I want to raise that, and I want to wish you a nice afternoon.